Hey everyone, I am currently sitting in my 1971 Mercury Cougar XR7 Convertible. I did a video on this probably close to a year ago, and this is just going to be an update of what has gone on over the past year or so. May not have been quite a year, but in any event, there's been a lot of changes and a lot of updates to the car over a span of time. It is currently a very nice day today. It is about 91 degrees out, so a little warm, especially to be driving a convertible, but I am in the Hoosier National Forest in Martinsville, Indiana, right just south of Bloomington, and it's a perfect day to be out here. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm in my little filming spot that I sometimes go to. So this is just an intro, and we'll go ahead and get started. Alright, so here's the car. Day before, 1971 Mercury Cougar XR7. Bought the car in June of 2008. It was not this color originally from the factory. It was this color when I bought it though. Used to be medium green metallic with the green leather and vinyl interior. However, it's been repainted cardinal red. Has a black interior. Some of the new features that I've put on, I was able to locate a correct XR7 badge for the rear deck lid. I got the sequential turn signals working finally. I've also got a period correct license plate. Up front, the powder coat I had done when I bought the car. The grille, headlight surrounds, taillight surrounds all used to be chrome, but they were so far pitted that it would cost a fortune to re-chrome, and I'm not a huge fan of a lot of chrome anyway. So I had a buddy of mine just powder coat these black, which I think it works well with the car. I've also had the badges powder coated, as well as the tail lamp surrounds. And just recently, the black in here and here, I had all touched up. Makes it look a lot better. The motor is where I did a lot of work for just recently. It is Ford's 5.8 liter, 351 cubic inch, 2-valve Cleveland V8 engine. I repainted the block, the valve covers, got a new air cleaner from Edelbrock, and it also has the correct decals on the inside for the engine compartment that I bought from West Coast Cougars. Transmission is Ford's T3 top loader 3-speed all synchromesh manual transmission. Currently I have 15-inch aluminum wheels. Not exactly my favorite, but those will have to wait. They are currently on 205/70 R15 tires. One of my favorite design elements is the chrome windshield header. I absolutely love that. I think it's great. These parts here are expensive, if not impossible to find. They were only available on the XR7s. XR7 convertibles, they only made 1,170 of them in 1971, so they're extremely rare. And repros and originals just don't exist anymore. So the problem is this black in the middle of the chrome was starting to pit, so I resprayed it. But my next project is to get the red overspray cleaned off. Alright, a little update on the interior. Not much has changed, if anything, to be honest with you. Interior is just expensive to do, and I'm doing this car on a budget because I still have things to take care of financially, and this car, you know, kind of have to pick and choose what I do to it. Nice thing about this though, the seats are original to the car. They are not the original color. That is the original color. I backyard fixed this rip here and this rip here. I could do a better job, but it's expensive, as I said before. And these are original, so I hate to lose these straps with the Cougar logo. So I'm keeping these seats as long as I can. Back seat is the same way. Driver's side portion of it is in good shape. The rear portion, where it goes over the transmission tunnel, is a mess, and I have black duct tape over it to kind of cover it for when I take it to car shows. But overall, it's not bad. Black floor mats, red period correct nylon loop carpeting. Goes with the red and black theme, and I think it really ties the car together very nicely. This vehicle does not have power steering. It is a manual steering. You also got manual windows, manual mirrors, and manual door locks. Alright, so going through, another update, the fuel gauge. After 8 years, I finally got the fuel gauge working. It does have a new fuel tank sending unit, and basically the plug in the back of the instrument cluster wasn't plugged in all the way. Go figure. White face gauges are not factory. The factories were black face with white numerals and white pointers. The little rings around were amber. I purchased an overlay on eBay. It's basically a decal. It keeps the original look, but turns them into white face gauges to give it a little bit more sporty look. And of course, the carbon fiber has been replaced, or the walnut has been covered with a carbon fiber wrap. The walnut still exists below, and it's still in good shape. So if I ever decide to take that off, which I probably won't, the walnut will still be in nice shape. Map light via the middle toggle switch here. Where the Cougar logo is right now, if the car had an AC option from the factory, this would have a vent here. But it's kind of nice that they actually plugged it with something that looks nice and decent. Below here, you've got your amp gauge, oil pressure gauge, which I have currently disconnected because I have a trio of odometer gauges. A lot more accurate. I have volts, my water temperature, and my oil pressure. Water temperature right now is kind of high. I'll get into that here in a minute. Down below, oh, this is actually where the radio would go, but these are a little bit more important than the radio. Ventilation controls. Install cup holders and some storage because we do drive this car pretty often, so it's kind of nice to have things in it. I do have my Bluetooth speaker here, and I've also got on the sun visor a Bluetooth for the phone, my garage door opener, and on the side I've got a vanity mirror. Like I said, we do drive this car quite often, so when the weather's nice, that's what they're meant to be. They're meant to be driven, not trailered. Alright, so I said we'll talk about the coolant, the water temperature later. Here it is. So originally, this car had a major overheating problem. And a lot of you remember I had just a cheap piece of aluminum sheet metal as a flake radiator shroud that just was not working. I've since upgraded to a high-performance aluminum radiator. And a gentleman from Nebraska on the Mercury Cougar Club on Facebook got a hold of me. And we were talking back and forth. And he has I think it's a 72 or a 73 Cougar XR7. He converted over to electric fans. So he happened to have a factory original radiator shroud for the Cougar. So I picked that up from them. It was relatively cheap considering that it is 3 times as expensive, or about $100 more on West Coast Cougars. And then I put my caution fan on there, but this has tremendously helped my cooling problem. Another thing is I replaced the thermostat. It kept sticking closed, so I was having issues with that. And right now you'll see that my temperature is a little high. However, the car has been running all day and I just now put it to a stop. So unfortunately that happens, but as soon as I get going, that temperature will go down. But it's been nice to have a car that doesn't overheat. And as I stated before, it is pretty warm out and humid. It's about 91 degrees with about 40 or 50% humidity, so it's rather warm, and this car on the highway maintains temperature right around 190 to 210 maybe. Also, I backyard rigged, but it does work, an overflow bottle. It just used to have a straight hose that led to the ground. Just an old coolant bottle that I've wedged and tied together to catch all coolant, and then it'll suck it back up as it starts to cool down. As you can see, it's actually starting to cool down now. So, and you did see a video with the engine in it, but I'll go over some of the things. Repainted it Old Ford blue. Replaced the valve cover gaskets. My oil pan gaskets next. Like I said before, I'm doing this car on a budget, so instead of buying an original yellow top coil, I just kind of painted it to look like a yellow top. Bought an Autolite ignition coil decal that goes over the top to make it look factory. Emissions control decal. Of course, you got the caution fan. This car, for whatever reason, has an air conditioner badge. It does not have air conditioning. And voltage regulator. It's an Autolite voltage regulator. Powder coated black Edelbrock air intake cleaner, or air cleaner. As a further update, I can honestly say that in the past, driving it on a warm day like this, stop and go traffic and whatnot, what have you, I would really be running up pretty high, probably about the 240 degree mark, not the 210. So it's amazing what a piece of plastic around your fan can do to keep your radiator cool. This car just seems to run a lot better now since I've done some improvements. Alright, I think I talked enough about the Cougar. Kind of covers some of the updates I've been doing, just to make it a little bit more roadworthy. It's an enjoyable experience. It does cost some money though, but we really enjoy having it. It's kind of nice to have a convertible for when the weather is nice. And what better way to do it than in a classic convertible. So here is to my 1971 Mercury Cougar XR7 Convertible. Thanks for watching.